So far, we have learned about indicators, support and resistance, and market structure. Okay. So we've learned about indicators, support and resistance, market structure. We've learned about candlesticks. You know how to read a candlestick now. And we've learned a lot of these things. And just to make things very clear, okay, the only actual one you're going to use out of that is market structure. Okay, market structure will be important to understand, but indicators you will not use. They're going to make you fail. And support and resistance and drawing random lines at lows is going to make you fail because that's just not how the market moves. And that's just not how the algorithm does anything. And if you don't believe there's an algorithm, then please stop watching my video because there clearly is. There's undeniable evidence. I trade it every day. There's no way I could be as precise as I can with if there wasn't an algorithm that existed in this market. So just stop watching this video if you don't even believe that, because this is definitely, most definitely an algorithm, and there's just no questions about it. So, in this video, I'm going to be going over like a little more of the science behind stop loss orders and why indicators don't work, and kind of I'm going to start branching my way to more liquidity kind of concepts because I feel like you guys understand most of the things you need to know. Now, next video, I am going to go over supply and demand. And a little bit of the strat. If you don't know what that is, it's kind of a cool concept. But this video, I want to start branching or creating a bridge to actual concepts that are going to actually make you profitable. Okay, I know that sounds these concepts will literally change your life. Okay, and yeah, so let me just show you something. So I'm gonna put on the 9 EMA. Okay, and I'm actually gonna type an EMA right here. I'm going to put on the 9 EMA. Now, why am I going to put this on? And, well, I want to show you guys something. Now, tell me if you think this is precise. Look at all these candles cutting above it, below it, above it, below it, above it, below it. Who even believes this works? Like, it works 1 out of 5 times. Look, it works here. Great, it works here. But does it work here? Nope, 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 nope. One above it, then below it. Like, how are you supposed to trade out that? It just doesn't work. Okay, and it's going to work sometimes, but it's not going to make you profitable. It's not. Here's a thing that really made me switch my brain when I was trying to learn how to trade. Okay, when I wanted to learn how to trade, it felt like I was winning a trade off of an EMA, and it was an accident. It was an accident that I won the trade. Just it didn't feel right because I truly was just buying off a line and I didn't know where the market actually wanted to go. I was guessing. And it wasn't until ICT concepts where I'm like, wow, this actually feels like I won a trade on purpose. It felt unbelievably real. Like, I'm like, no way. Like, I just found the narrative. I found the bias. I know why the market had to go here. And it just felt great. And that's the first reason why you will not want to use indicators, because indicators, that's the main reason. Indicators will not tell you any of that. They're not going to tell you, oh, the market should go here. You're just kind of following the trend. You're just kind of buying based off a random average of candles we can already see, and it just does not help. So now that you've seen how just sloppy this is and just not precise, let me ask you another question. So let me take this indicator off, just hit delete. Now, this is a fair value gap, which will be gone over in a future video. But basically, it's just gap. Okay, this is going to be the main backbone of what I'm going to start teaching. And this is a fair value gap. And you can clearly see it's when this first wick here and this third wick here does not overlap. Okay, so I'm not going to explain it too in depth right now. But just know this is a fair value gap. If I just bring up a picture on Google and type in FEG diagram. Again, it's very, very clear. So it's just this right here. Again, you can literally just type this in Google. It's just this gap between where this wick here and this wick here do not overlap. And it's where this wick here and wick here do not overlap. It's the same thing in every single, it's the same picture. So basically, what is more precise? That random line, that random 9 EMA head, or this little box here where price perfectly wicks into it, respects it perfectly, and it dumps? I think we all know the answer. Okay, I think we all know it's going to be that fair value gap. Okay, Now, you're probably like, oh, why do these other fair value gaps fail? Why do these all get broken through? Okay, I will go in depth and explain, okay, in later in the series. And yeah, I mean, you're going to see later in the series, and I'm going to explain a more in-depth guide on fair value gaps. But anyways, you can just see how precise they are. Like, look here, the 2-minute time frame here, just fair value gap here. It's a bullish gap. Price comes into it, rotates into, bounce off it perfectly, goes back and hits the high. Okay, so that's what a fair value gap is. And you can clearly see how much more precise fair value gaps are rather than just a random line in the chart. And this, it actually makes you feel like the market is actually like doing something, and you're actually getting in a spot where other buyers are getting in instead of just buying in a random line. Now, people always ask you, like, can you combine indicators with fair value gaps? You could, but it's not going to help you once you get really advanced in the ICT. They're just not going to help you, trust me. Not financial advice. But again, even here, this is just a perfect example of a bullish gap. Respects perfectly. We wick down and we bounce right off of it and go back all the way to the highs. Okay, so just a really good example there as well. And again, you don't need a line to tell you we're going to go up here. There's a bullish fair value gap. We swept the low. We remember what I said about stop losses. We ran stop losses, right? How many people do you think had their stop loss here below this low? Probably a lot. So we ran stop losses, and boom, we get this really nice move up. So that's like the science behind why patterns work. We'll get into liquidity a little bit. Okay, so why let me go turn on the EMA again. Okay, this is going to be very important to understand. So look at this right here. Why does this EMA work so well? Why do we keep bouncing off of it? Bounce here, bounce here, bounce off here. Well, because we bounced off a fair value gap that already told us price was bullish, but we don't need the EMA to see that, right? So it's because of this fair value gap, not because of the EMA. All right, it's not because of the EMA. Now, let me look at another example here, okay? Right here, we reject this fair value gap. Why does this EMA work after getting respect? Why does this get respected to the downside? It gets respected here, we wick here, here, here. It's all respected, and we keep going down until finally we break it here. But why is it respected here? Well, because we broke a fair value. We delivered or rejected an actual fair value gap. Okay, that's why the EMAs. That's why we're going down, not because of us breaking through the EMA. Anyone who thinks we're going down because we're closing below an EMA has no idea what they're talking about and does not understand this is all an algorithm. So what price will do is it'll come into these inefficiencies and bounce or reject off them and fill a lot of them. So you can just clearly see that it's not because the EMA has no effect. Sorry. The EMA has no effect on us going down here at all. It's all the fair value gap. So how do we know that? How do we know that's the case? Well, we know that's the case because look here. There's no fair value gap here, and this EMA is just completely getting disrespected and destroyed because there's no fair value gap there. Okay, and this is actually you're probably wondering, oh, there's a fair value gap here. Why don't we perfectly respect this? Okay, this is more advanced. I'm not going to explain that right now. But just know that a lot of your losing trades that you took off of indicators probably did not have some sort of fair value gap. Okay, most of the winning trades you probably took are probably aligned with the EMA. We're probably all off a fair value gap. And if you go back and you journal your trades and you check, I bet most of you will find that I am indeed correct. So you're going to see we are moving down here because of the fair value gap, not because of the EMA. And it's the same thing with all indicators. If I turn on RSI, if I turn on MACD, it's all the same. And you have to understand that. And here's the thing. If you can't understand that, you're not going to be able to watch these videos and be like, oh, what this guy is saying is true. Because you need to understand that logic that the market is moving off of fair value gaps, okay? The two most important things in the entire market is highs and lows and fair value gaps. Okay, so highs/lows, so such as right here, right here, right here, highs and lows and fair value gaps, because the market, okay, this is gonna be the one thing you need to remember. The market seeks one, either inefficiencies, which is a fair value gap, or two, highs and lows. So the market will seek a fair value gap, or it will seek a high and low. Those are the only two things the market will want to retrace to or want to fill or want to seek. Okay, that's where the algorithm or price is seeking, which ICT teaches. Okay, and again, I'm going to do a more in-depth video on fair value guess, but for now, this video is really about, okay, here's what an indicator is, here's it failing, but then it starts working when we kind of, when we're off a fair value gap. Same thing with this one here, right? There's a fair value gap here when this candle closes below the EMA, and it's respected nicely until we hit low of day. And yeah, so there's that. And will indicators truly tell you where to take profit? No. What an indicator is going to do is this. Watch what happens here. So let's say, oh, we close below this and we close below this EMA. I'm going to take a short. Well, what I'm going to do is if we go back above the EMA, I'm going to close my short. Not really close back above it yet. Not close above it yet. Oh, we close above it. I'm closing my short. Look how much profit I just miss out on because I don't understand where the market should go. The market should go to highs, lows, and inefficiencies. Well, where did the market just go? It just went to this low. Why this low? Because it will go to highs, lows, and inefficiencies. And this is the low day. The market's going to seek there quite a bit, and that should be your take profit. Not when we change direction and go back above the EMA, because by then your position is probably almost red again. So that's really the science and idea behind why you should not use indicators and why you should not use support and resistance, and just they do not work. Okay, I can't stress you enough. We use real support and resistance, and I'll teach you what I mean by that, but let me show you what I mean by that real quick. We use real support and resistance. Something like that would be this. This is real support. This little line here, this black line, this open to this candle. Okay, I'm not going to explain why it's real support right in this video right here. But this black line at the open of this candle, this is real support. It's real support. And it's going to hold. And you're going to see the reaction off it super nicely. We wick lower. We do dig into it a little more, but this whole candle generally still holds really nicely. And this is just real support. You're going to learn that. And this is called an order block. And that's real support. It does not use indicators. It does not use anything. It's not a line where, oh, we retested this 50 times. Now it's support. It's a line where we know it's support before the market knows it's support. Okay. And you're going to learn that as we keep going along in the videos. All right. So, this video should hopefully open up your eyes. And I really want you to understand that we will fail EMAs with no fair value gap. EMAs will not work. Most of the EMAs that work are always coming off of fair value gap, or always coming off of something, always has to do with ICT concepts and liquidity. And that is the main gist of this video. Okay. So now that we've kind of got that under our belt and not that why you should not use indicators and why you should not use, we need to go over, I just realized we need to go over why not to use patterns now. Okay. So patterns, it's the same thing. Don't use patterns because here's why. Let me show you something. All right. A lot of people, I think I already explained this in the last video. A lot of people would be like, oh, we got head and shoulders here. Shoulder, head, shoulder. Oh, I'm going to short here. Let's go. We should dump and go where the pattern in the arrow tells us, which is way down here. I'm going to keep holding. Oh, nope, we bounce. Oh, here's another shoulder. I'm going to short again. Right? I'm going to keep holding because we should keep going down because whenever we get head and shoulders, this happens. Or, sorry, this happens. So I'm going to keep holding to down here. Oh, nope, we bounce. So, one, head and shoulders going to help you here because one, it doesn't really tell you where to take profit. It's just you're kind of guessing. And two, you're looking at a head and shoulders at the bottom of the market. You don't want to look it up for head and shoulders at the bottom of the trend. Why do you think this head and shoulders here doesn't work as much? It doesn't go as far as this head and shoulders here. Look at this one. See how much farther this goes? Oh, I wonder why. Because we're actually bouncing or we're actually rejecting a fair value gap. That's why this one goes further, because this is a real this is the real algorithm. we already hit low a day. Why in the hell would you use a head and shoulders way down here at the bottom of a trend after we've already hit low a day? This is liquidity. This low is called liquidity. You do not want to short after we hit liquidity. Up here, we did not hit liquidity. We are very high in the range. This is when your head and shoulders is going to work. And this is the other reason why you can't use patterns, because people using patterns are going to get wrecked here, and it's going to work here. But they're not going to know that they don't know why they got wrecked here, and they don't know why it worked there. And that's when it feels like, oh, this trade was just an accident because it worked here, but it didn't work here. When you trade ICT, you're going to be like, oh, this trade was actually a legit win. I knew why the market should go down here, etc. So that's why you should not use patterns. That's why you should not use indicators. And hopefully this sums up why they're just awful, and you're not going to be profitable in them. Okay. And that's going to be it for this video. Let me know if you guys have any questions, and just leave them below in the comment section. I'll get to them at some point. And I really hope this opens up your eyes, because like I said, if this does not open up your eyes, I don't really know how to explain it. And yeah, peace.